Seth Godin, how central is technology in the post-industrial world?
Well, we need to talk about the lever that creates productivity. So the first one was the pin making machine. Now what Adam Smith wrote about is it used to take a guy trained a full day to make 10 or 20 pins, those little things in the shirts. And once they invented the pin making machine, 4 untrained people could do it 10,000 pins a day. Well, that changed everything for pin makers, as you can imagine. So we went through this whole series of 200, 300 years where machines got better and better and humans got stupider and stupider. Now this new technology comes along and it says you don't have to be the factory owner. All you have to have is a laptop. If you've got a laptop, we've now given the worker the pin making machine. We've given the worker all these tools of high leverage. For free, you can put up a web page or a blog that is read or could be read by 100 million people. For free, you can have a store online where people can engage with you all over the world. For free, you can have a direct connection with 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 customers. You can get access to this software, that software, the same software big companies have. So there's this massive leveling of the playing field. And then the question is, what are you going to do with that machine? Are you going to use that machine to put up sharp-tongued comments on lame blogs? Are you going to use that machine to show naked pictures of your girlfriend? Or are you going to use that machine to actually make something that has an impact on the world? And that's why technology is important. Not because it's a better version of a pin-making machine that just makes things more efficient. It's important because what we did was we gave the factory, the pin-making machine, to 1 billion people. And now we got to see what those 1 billion people are going to do with it. And some of them are building things that really have an impact, and some of them are just wasting time while someone else is paying their salary.
You've said, though, or you argued in Linchpin, that the great shift from the industrial economy is one now where we all have to be innovative ourselves and not listen to what other people tell us. How good is technology in that sense? All this new technology, the technology that TechCrunch covers, the internet, does that make us more innovative? It enables innovation, but is it getting us to think for ourselves more?
Well, nothing can make you think for yourself unless you want to. I think that there's certainly this insular, cutting-edge consumer tech bubble, and there's only 1 million people in it, but they love to talk about what's on that edge. That edge isn't really important to almost anyone else in the world. That it's the stuff that happens a year after it's gone through that process that matters. So when I think about Abby Ryan, who's a painter, she paints oil paintings. She paints 1 a day. But she uses eBay, which was only interesting to the tech bubble 10 years ago, to sell her paintings, right? 1 a day. She makes $100-something thousand a year as a painter directly interacting with her audience. That's where the technology has leverage. Or we think about, the hundreds of thousands of people who are using Etsy to do physical art. Or we think about, what Torvald built with Linux. This idea that someone who's never met another programmer could program code that got built into an operating system that other people would notice and then get freelance work so they could do ever better work. That kind of technology matters a lot. Whether or not there's a new client for Twitter, whether or not there's a new Q&A site, that's sort of interesting to a couple tech people and the people who are cheering them on, but it's more like a sporting event over there than an actual productive way to think about shifting the way we're going to do business.
How central do you see social in innovation in the post-industrial economy?
Well, let's understand that marketing, mass marketing, yelling at strangers was a key part of our culture in 1980. Huge amount of money, huge amount of shift of the culture. That's going away, and it's being replaced by people yelling at each other, friends talking to each other, people whispering to each other. That's when I think of social. It's a new way of filtering ideas through the ecosystem of our culture. It becomes really important at that level because that means everyone is Tina Brown. Everyone has their own magazine. Everyone has their new way of contacting their circle. So if your circle is 10,000 influential people, you have influence, right? Now, that doesn't mean that social should change how you paint, or social should change how you program, or social should change how you do the work that you do. What it means is if you want your ideas to reach the world, you better either know someone who has these social tentacles or have them yourself. Otherwise, you're at the mercy of someone who is going to decide which ideas are going to get a head start.